Hi everyone, I'm Cecilia Elias at the South Hills location of Moxie Mind and Body Pilates Studio. Today I'm playing with the toe corrector, or the toe Gizmo, and I've actually been having a lot of my clients purchase these. I send them to Russell at Pilates Lineage because this is excellent homework. Number one, it's a gym you can fit in your purse. Right? It works feet to seat. You will feel your butt. You will feel your core by working your feet. But it just feels really good. Everybody needs this. We can't all be Pilates teachers walking around in our bare feet all day. So I sit, when I practice, with my legs straight out in front of me on the floor. Okay, if this is not a comfortable position for you to lift up out of, if this feels impossible, please sit up on a stool, or if you have a reformer or a short box, sit on a yoga block, an ottoman. Elevate your hips, get your hips above your feet to take some of the pressure out of your hip flexors, okay? So if you have one you can follow along, maybe you just have a really thick rubber band, the kind that comes in the asparagus, that might work for now, but I'm telling you it's not gonna be the same. You definitely want one of these. So we're gonna have our legs hip width apart, okay? And you'll notice my toe curves in. A lot of people's toe will curve in because of closed-toed shoes. And we're trying to get it to go just straight up and down. That's one goal that we have among many. So we're gonna put the strap on the widest part of the ball of the foot, because since I have a bigger gap here than you'll notice between my other toes, if I put it down here, I'm actually going to encourage this gap to get bigger. And I really just want to pull this into a straight line. That's the objective for doing this work here, for having the toe corrector there, okay? So whether you're up or you're on the floor, hands are next to you, pressing into a surface so that you can get a little two-way stretch going. We are tractioning our hands as if they're going forward to lift the breastbone and up through the crown of the head, lift the waist, reach out through the legs. So now I'm going to start with my feet parallel. I typically work parallel on the reformer, okay? Any one of these things that I'm going to show you, you can also do in a V, and I'll show you some of those in a moment or two. Okay, so keeping legs parallel, we're attaching our feet to our seat. From the entire leg, we're going to take that spring so it's just not slacked and slide it apart. So I'm reaching through my legs and I slid the spring open. Now I'm going to reach my feet to you as I draw them back to just that starting stopping point, okay? So notice I didn't just move my feet around, I didn't just move my knees around. My whole leg, my foot is attached through my leg to my seat. So I am sliding my feet apart, they're reaching forward, but it's because I'm sliding my thighs apart. And they're staying parallel, my knees are to the ceiling. And then release. Now one thing you'll notice is a little sticky, and partially it's because of the floor, but you might notice, and you can tell on me, when I slide apart, it's hard to get both of them to move exactly at the same time and speed. Slide back together. So you want to notice, well, what's your sticky side? For me, my sticky side is the right side. So I need to stabilize my left side more. I'm going to keep this one very still, right? And it's still reaching long. And I'm just gonna try a few extra reps on only this side to get it moving, right? And then you can notice, I can see my, imbalances here. All these toes, they need to relax, right? We'll get to those later. This leg now, we're gonna keep this one still and let this one go. Now you'll notice this big toe joint, or maybe you can't tell from your angle, but my foot, if I were standing right now, it would appear like I'm only standing on the outside of this foot. So as I'm doing this, I need to reach this joint forward. So I want you to look for asymmetries in your feet and see if you can balance them out. Make both feet look like each other, right? And then we're gonna slide it out and slide it out. And this is my more mobile side. This is like nothing, right? So maybe I'll give this one a little extra. And you don't need to do any more than 3 to 5 of any of those things, okay? And then rest. Now, because this gap is pretty big, and then this one is non-existent, I'm gonna do some of my other variations with 2 toes in, right? And you could do the same, and then maybe you get 3 toes, Maybe some of you can fit 4 toes, but that way you're giving each of these little metatarsal joints some space and some work, okay? So we could do that same thing over again, but I want to show you a different variation. So I'll show you a Pilates stance or an external rotation here. So we just did parallel, right? So now I can do this a couple of ways, just a little less slack on the strap there. I'm going to leave my heels here, hands down, and just like my feet are flat on the floor, I'm just leaving them soft. I'm going to rotate from my thigh to open the spring. Okay, I'm going to bring my feet a little closer together there. So they're about my hip socket width apart. I'm going to rotate just a little bit. I have to try to get my toes to stay straight up, otherwise they want to curl back to me or they want to curl toward you. And again, rotate and then back up, right? So then that's just kind of like what I'm doing to see what's going on. So if you could tell, again, on me, this joint didn't want to go. So what happened was this ankle kind of did this each time, right? Not good, right? This one stayed connected. This one stayed nice and solid and rotated nicely. So I'm going to do a few extra on this side just so I can try to fix that, so I can try to work with that. So I'm going to try to keep my ankle aligned and rotate this thigh. Now I broke this ankle twice when I was 15 and you know, it still haunts me. Okay, all right, so to keep it brief, we'll stop with that. I did my feet just like they're flat on a floor. You may need to do, or you may want to do, long pointed feet. You may want to do curled ball of the foot. Give it a try. If this position feels terrible, you probably mean it. You may want to do pointed ankle, soft toes, right? You could play with all of those different variations. They're all going to work different things and help people with different feet problems, different foot problems, right? So then one more little thing that I want to do together is, even if you're down on the ground, you're going to come up to sit on a surface. Okay, so say all we did was what we just did now, the first and second toe. Well, what about these 3 little guys, right? We want them to move also. So I'm going to try to keep my seat rooted, my feet planted. I'm going to use the toe corrector, and I'm going to take it on the little baby toe, right? And I'm going to use my hand on the same side. I'm going to keep my chest nice and tall. So you want to try not to like go like this to look at it. You can look at it, but with a lifted posture, or maybe there's a mirror in front of you. I'm going to take that toe, and my toe likes to go kind of around this way. It wants to curve in and hang out with the other guys this way. So I'm actually going to stretch it out to the side to try to get it to go long, right? And then I'm going to try to keep it out there. Again, try. And then I'm going to try to use that toe, reach it out to set it down. I'm trying to pull the spring down, right? And usually the pinky toes are worse, and on my left side it's really, really bad, right? So you can do about 3 to 5 times going down those other toes that we did not do. Make sure you get both feet, right? And then I'm pulling it away from the direction that it wants to go. So then I have to be mindful that I don't fight that I go with that direction as I try to set the toe down, right, to get the desired result. So once you've had maybe 2 or 3 per toe on this foot, you go 2 or 3 per toe on that foot so you're not jealous, and I bet your foot's going to feel so much more grounded and open, and it's just going to feel great. You're not going to want to put shoes on after that. So thanks everybody for watching, and have a great day.